Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with my boys, Petey, Cal. Hey, say what's up, guys.
What's up?
Today
Ready to
we're talking
rock,
about
people.
what if. That's right, that awesome new episode, episode 7, with our boy Party Thor. So hey, let's get back into this. This episode deals with where Thor's father goes into the Odin sleep and his mother goes away on a mini vacation, and Thor just rules the world. And to make sure his mother doesn't know what the hell he's doing, he has a party on Earth, figuring that Heimdall, whose mother left in charge to watch him, couldn't check out what he's doing. You figured nobody would be there. But the crazy thing about this episode is it had everybody Guardians of the Galaxy showed up, the Skrulls showed up, everybody who's dealt with Thor, Ragnarok, but of course it still had the basic premise of him meeting Jane Foster, on him coming to Earth, and him, just totally misbehaving. He's not a bad guy. The episode is called What If Thor Was an Only Child? And I think that's going to be something we're going to discuss more about. But off the bat, wonderful episode. I'm going to pass this on to our boy, Petey. Give us a little bit of thoughts of this episode, Petey, and let's get into it. Throw up your hands.
Um, for me, for me, it was an okay episode. I hadn't liked much outside of the T'Challa one. That one was okay. This one had some fun stuff to it, and they allowed Thor to, even though Thor, I don't think Thor is someone that routinely fights with the hammer. Like, so it's like if you take that away, you take away part of his fighting. Though you can, that's not a big thing for him. But I mean, they allowed Captain Marvel to get hit, and that's one thing that, even though they're trying to keep the gray area of who's stronger, because obviously they would go with this is Marvel, they'd obviously go with Captain Marvel for no good reason. But
I mean, the
ultimately,
MCU, not the Marvel. The MCU is going with her that way.
okay, whatever, MCU, Marvel, this, that, and the other. But ultimately, it was a fun sort of thing. They had some things where I did chuckle and laugh at it, and what else? And then having a little more of Frigga, who we didn't really get to see too much of. We only really got to see her basically get taken out in the second one, and then you get to see her in Endgame. So it's like getting a little more time with her. But in getting the long, they didn't have the Odin sleep usually leads to something terrible happening, which is always fun in the fun in the universe, to be like something, Asgard and everything is getting destroyed while Odin is sleeping. They don't want to break that sleep, but then of course right at the end he pops up. So that could have been fun too. But ultimately it was okay episode for me.
What about you, Cal? Give us a thumbs up on this one, baby.
I don't know. I like some of it. I didn't like some of it. So this was kind of middle of the road for me. The whole premise of, okay, this is what Thor's supposed to be like if Loki isn't there, doesn't really make a lot of sense, because Odin was still there, and you would think that Odin is still the guy shaping him to become someone, not Loki. So the whole idea that he's just going to be some party kid just doesn't really make a lot of sense at the end of the day, especially if we go by the film. All the stuff that happens with Loki that might be the more determining stuff, that happens afterwards, not leading, not before. So that means Loki was pretty much in lockstep with Thor, so it would have just been Odin, these guys doing what they tell him to do. And then we get to that point. Then you get to the show, and some of this, they played it for laughs for the most part. So some of the gags were okay. I thought the whole fight between him and Captain Marvel was just a waste of time, unless you're going to do something definitive. Marvel used to do this whole fight stuff between the heroes, and they used to really go out of their way with this thing. The heroes fight more often than the heroes fight the villains. But sometimes it could be actually, it could be entertaining. This, I just looked at it and I was like, they're just punching each other. There's nothing clear cut about this. There's not even anything really cool happening with this. So you could have cut all of that out. At least for me, you could have cut all of that out and spent more time doing the other stuff. But I did like the way I like the way it ended. It ended like an 80s sitcom. I'm going to clean everything up, and magically everything's going to be gone at the last minute when she gets there, and you're just about to get away with it. And oh no, somehow somebody's drawers are stuck on the hammer, and I guess, I'm going to get caught. So there was some aspects of it I liked and some I didn't. So this is just a middle of the road episode for me. This has just been a middle of the road series for me. It's either been hit or miss, depending on which week I'm looking at it.
All I can say is just wow. Did not expect that from you, of all people. Look, I gotta say that totally the fight scene is probably one of the highlights. Specifically when you look at people always like who's stronger, her or Thor. And you see, yes, she can hold her own, but Thor is the god of thunder. You know, he has his hammer. He can do whatever the hell he wants, and he holds it with her out in space, on Earth. You know, isn't it funny when he's knocking her out of France into Stonehenge, and when she's knocking him out of England all the way to America? Yo, it was a very fun episode. You know, I thought that it did a great job. The levity of it. You know, the bro, what's his name, bro from another mother, Loki. That's what he said. Hotness, bro. But for me, there was one major issue was, you know, if this is Thor without Lodi, what was the consequence? It's just Thor's party Thor. He seems to be yes, he's more lighthearted, not as quite as responsible, but isn't this the whole reason he lost the hammer in the first place in the first movie? You know, because he wasn't being responsible. And here he basically follows through on the same thing, but he's just partying. So what? Loki had to be there for him to be a little bit more of a warrior. I don't know. So that to me, the whole title of the episode doesn't hold as much as I would have held. But overall, the episode was generally good. Do any of you guys have any questions about the episode name, or you guys are fine with that, or it just didn't match? Petey, you're on mute, bro.
Thank you.
Mother from another mother.
Whatever.
Oh, there we go.
I don't have any questions, but what do you mean as far as the name? Like specifically?
I mean, the name of the fact that this one was called "What If Loki was an only child," and I don't think that was conveyed strongly enough here, because one, it kind of undercuts it when you have Loki come in and say, "Yo, brother from another mother," and they're hanging out and they're having a good time. Yeah, him and Loki may have had their differences, but they were still brothers, you know, and it did help to shape you. Having siblings does help to shape you, but I didn't find it that difficult of a stretch that, you know, Loki and Thor didn't have any good times together. There wasn't any connection. The very fact that there was still a connection told us that, you know.
You're saying that what they should have done is did the whole New Gods thing. What if the giants switch babies and Thor never
that would have been probably a better, or it could have been, you know, what if Thor, you know, Loki wasn't there, Thor becomes Dark Thor, you know, or something like that. You know, a bigger consequence. If you're going to use that title, the title Party Thor is like, just because Loki isn't there now, you're going to be Party Thor. He was kind of getting in trouble before, you know, he lost his hammer.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
So it seems like we agree we're negating the episode. As much fun as it was, we all have to go to the fact that maybe there was things they could have done better.
Yeah, I think it could have. As an episode standalone on its own, it was okay. But if they're trying to bring it into that whole what if, the consequences weren't quite as high as what would have happened. But gents, what's your take on
oh God, no, stop. Don't. This is what we argued about.
I've been talking to you about this for weeks, and you keep shooting it down. This is in your face now, and you can't deny right now that Ultron is the guy. So, you know, booyaka. I'm putting this to my boy Cal, someone who has more of a level head to talk about something like this. Cal, what's your take on that at the very end coming in?
Take on what?
I can't
what
hear
you. What you saw at the very end
with Ultron?
Yeah.
Yes, and the colors.
But how's that any different? So he's got the Infinity Gauntlet somehow, but how's that any different? Oh, what? Like it's not even Ultron. It looks like it's the Vision inside of the Ultron suit. How's that any different than Thanos showing up in the other episode and he's a zombie with the Infinity Gauntlet? It's just a sight gag.
No, Mars is feeling that it's going to be this big pulling it all together and having this big crossover, having almost like a Infinity War Endgame of the what if.
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so I don't know why you don't want to hear it. It's like right now in your face. You didn't want to hear the stuff, but once again, booyaka! The good guy is right. What can I say? You know, can you say that at least? Can you say the good guy is right this time?
Who's the good guy? I don't. Sarcasm is not an insult. So I'm still not fighting with you right now.
Sure. So overall, anything else you guys want to throw on this episode? We all good right now? Because Cal Seasons doesn't know what happened with Ultron. I think it was a great move coming in, but there are some problems. Like, didn't they say in the Loki series that the Infinity Stones only work in the universe that they're in? So how do you have Ultron having the Infinity Stones, and he's doing it in a multiverse.
It's
All right.
only what you're saying is that if they pull it all together, it won't work.
I'm saying, how does it work? If he's coming, it's going to be a multiverse thing. Supposedly, the Watcher is going to bring these guys together. The question is, how do you have a threat from a multiverse Ultron? It doesn't seem to work using the rules based on Loki, unless they say, you know what, this doesn't happen. But they have already said these episodes are canon to the MCU. So you see, they're going to have to probably do something.
Or just hop over it like a big speed bump. Just gonna go over it like a speed bump.
Okay, that sounds like a plan to me. Cal, you agree too? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much with Petey.
I can't hear you, Cal.
I said this is pretty much what Petey says. It's just not gonna really bear any fruit at the end of the day. And I get the whole idea, the guys want to spec and Easter eggs and who's coming down to play. But if you really want me to spec and do all that other type of stuff, or really start hunting for the Easter eggs, the stuff that you're offering has to be a lot more compelling to the point where I'm going to hang on every little bit. It's like guys who are into the Lord of the Rings, we hung on every single thing, because we wanted to see if this character was going to come out, or maybe this would happen, or maybe we'd see Tom Bombadil, even though you knew good and well he was never going to show up in those films. You knew it wasn't going to happen. Same thing with the Star Wars heads. They're like, okay, you say Darth somebody, everybody's like, oh yeah, this is great, because you really want to see it. Here, they give me little snippets, and I'm like, I have no idea what any of this, I don't understand how you tie any of this to anything. And at this point, I really don't care if you tie anything of this to anything. You haven't made it compelling enough.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I think it's been very compelling, very interesting. I totally understand that not everybody can feel the same. So let's wrap this sucker up. Anybody have any other questions before we end it?
No, let's get
You're not.
Yo, we're all in agreement. Good episode, weird title, great ending. Spinner rack.
Out.